Whenever my parents got into a fight, my mother would climb into my bed, run her fingers through my hair, and tell me to never get married. Cutting dark strands like ribbon, the spiderweb of veins and wrinkles that blossomed across her hands murmured a story. 1. 24 years ago, she left her home for him, and since then, the Pacific Ocean has stretched farther than ever before, and sometimes I think it might swallow me whole. 2. When my father first taught me to surf, he explained that the scariest part of surfing is being dragged out into the ocean by a rip current. I imagine, however, that should my mother ever visit the beach, she would lie in the rip current with her cracked palms screaming prayers towards the watercolor sky blushing salmon underneath the fingertips of nostalgia as she was carried out to sea. My father thinks that rip currents tear you from your home. My mother thinks they bring you back. 3. When I was little, I used to find solace in my mother's smile, but now I can only hear the spaces between her laughter ringing louder than her chuckle. The hollows of her cheeks are darker than the corners of her lips, and I know that she's carved out pieces of herself to make room for him through long walks and yoga, and I promise this diet will make me small enough to dissolve into you when you hold me. 4. She comes from a family of seamstresses in Busan, women who believed in taking pieces of what once was in hopes of making it into something beautiful again. 5. Ever since she came to America, she has said that she has grown too frail to hold up a sewing needle. 5. I was 5 years old the first time I heard my parents fighting, and it's hard to keep my numbers straight when I can't see my fingers in the dark. So 5. She has started a new diet in which you don't eat for 16 hours every day. She skips meals like asking for forgiveness. I want to tell her that she is allowed to take up space. 5. 16 hours is also the average flight time from Seoul to San Francisco, the average time it takes to forget your country disappearing on the horizon behind you. 5. She apologizes whenever she talks to herself in Korean. 5. The first Korean word I learned, my mother taught me. I had difficulty mimicking the dance of the syllables because the word sounded foreign in her mouth, but not because it was in a different language. 사랑해. I love you. The second Korean word I learned, I taught myself by listening to my mother mumbling underneath her breath as she drove me to school the morning after. She has often said that she is afraid of repeating her mother's mistakes, but when the word formed in between my lips, all I could taste was inheritance. 미안해. I'm sorry.